All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Get to Know the Guild. Oh, I can hear myself. How can I hear myself? Tech difficulties. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had my YouTube channel open. Our first test was to make sure that this went live, and it did. We're using a new software called StreamYard. I'm used to OBS, so this is new for me, but thank you guys for being patient. This is the first episode of Meet the Guild for the Song of Ice and Fire Guild. I'm Chris from Mythicos Studios, and I'm going to be your host tonight tonight, wherever you are. If you're watching this on VOD, if you're watching this live, for me, it's the afternoon. For some people, it's night, and for some people, it's morning because we have people from all over the world. So basically, how this is going to work is I am going to interview members of the guild, other members of the guild. I'm going to bring a whole bunch of great guys in here, and we're going to talk about their content and what they do for the guild, what their content is, and kind of their whole background in wargaming. I hope you guys enjoy this. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sorry for any technical difficulties that happen because, again, this is new to me, and I'm using this software for the first time. It is a very interesting software. I like it. It's very cool. So without further ado, I'm going to bring all our wonderful participants in here today. We got a whole assortment of people from the guild, and I'm just going to pop them all in here. Let's bring them all in. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing today?
Good.
Hi, guys. Hey.
I'm pretty awesome.
So today it looks like we have 5 members of the guild present, with small council having 2 people. Look at that. We got Dave and Brett here from small council. So I'm just going to go down the line and let you guys introduce yourselves. First off, we'll start with Carlo. Why don't you go ahead?
Hello, everyone. I'm Carlo. I am the creator of A Song of Ice and Fire Stats, the website. I do all the coding for that, and off of the back of that, I write some articles that go up on the guild now and again. And I also kind of run a YouTube channel, main purpose of which is mostly to insult the rest of the guys here, because it's not the most serious thing, and yeah. It's probably the least watched of all of them, so I just have a bit of fun with it.
And then we've got why don't Dave and Brett go back to back, because you guys are both part of Small Council Radio. Dave first.
All right. I'm Dave from Small Council Radio, and it's awesome to be here with you guys. And we started Small Council Radio. I was really actually looking to get into like battle reports, but just didn't really know how to get all that together. It was kind of diving into something I wasn't really sure of. But doing Blog Talk Radio is something that I used to do. It's something I used to do when I played the Dragon Ball Z card game. We had a radio for that as well, and so I was comfortable starting it up with this, and figured it could lead me into the battle reports, because that's definitely something that we would like to still do down the line once we can get the gear and figure out how to get all that stuff done.
Brett, you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Small Council with Dave. It was honestly Dave's idea. He reached out to me, and the rest of the Small Council group is kind of his group, so I'm really happy to be a part of it with them. It's definitely grown. It's been really, really fun. It's been really cool. And it's nice to just do like a totally different take on some of the things, and just kind of laser focus on one topic and do that for the show. So it's definitely fun. And, really happy to be a part of that, and really happy to be a part of the guild as well. So it's great, and everything continues to grow. We've got a strong group of guys here. Everybody's awesome, even when they're mean to me. So
us mean to you? What are you talking about, Brett?
It's the rule.
It's the rule.
It is known.
You just think everyone's out to get you.
The whole world is out to get Brett.
I am. I'm out to get Brett.
Oh yeah. And now we have one of our newest members, Chris from Sunday Slaughter. How's it going, man?
Good. Happy to be here.
What?
For those who don't know, I run the Sunday Slaughter YouTube channel where we do all battle reports regarding the Song of Ice and Fire game. I'm a relatively new channel. I think we've posted maybe 11 or 12 videos, and we started the channel about 2 months ago. So I've tried to keep up the trend of posting a video a week, and it's been fun so far. Was quite surprised to be asked into the guild last month, but I'm definitely psyched to be in it. So,
heck yeah, man! And then we've got Carl up next from West Coast Bannerman. What's going up, Carl?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Sorry, my posture is all over the place. I have little ones around me today.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah. So yeah, West Coast Bannerman is a new thing. It used to be Peacekeeper Games. That was started because of this game and the precision pivoting arcs, which was really fun to do. I got to serve, over a couple dozen countries with these gadgets, and got to know the community. And then as far as content creating, I just kind of bought an off-brand $10 HD camera and set it up and just started having fun with it. So I really got into articles and things like that. I just love it all. I'm kind of random. Podcasts, whatever suits the fancy at the moment. Right now, the Fantasy League is about to kick off for the TSL League, and we're having a blast in there. Lots of new players that have no idea what fantasy is, so that's fun too, to kind of walk them through that and open up their world to what fantasy sports, I guess, is all about. And yeah, so we're looking forward to having some podcasts and content for the Fantasy League.
Heck yeah. And last but certainly not least, Ilya from Tabletop Warden. How's it going, man?
Hi, guys. Nice to have you here and to be a part of this guild. Well, I'm Ilya. I'm part of the Tabletop Wardens. That's basically me and Yannick. And for those of you who don't know, we are a German YouTube channel who are making content for our Song of Ice and Fire. We are making battle reports, podcasts. Yannick actually writes a lot of articles for the guild. I was kind of busy the last couple of months because of my just private schedule. It was a difficult time for me, but right now I'm basically free and now ready to go and participate in a lot of guild activities. So yeah, thanks for having me here.
Awesome. Well, now that we've introduced everyone, I think we can go down the line and kind of talk more about what specifically you guys do for the guild, and specifically your channels and your ventures personally. So we'll start back with you, Carla. I know you got a lot to say. Don't worry. No. Mr. Analytics is like,
Let me back in.
Let me back in. So, Carla,
there.
why don't you talk about A Song of Ice and Fire stats? I'm going to pull up your page and we'll kind of, just go off, man. Do your thing.
All right, then. Yeah, let's go off on one. As I always do in all my videos anyway, so what does it matter? So, I mean, like, Song of Ice and Fire stats started basically about a year ago. Back then, it was a spreadsheet where I kind of tracked some games in my local group. And I started messing around with a lot of quite heavy mathematics and statistics off the back of those submissions, because that's what I do or did in my professional life. And that became like a phone app, which got used. I sent it out to some people to test so that we could kind of see how it worked when they all interacted with other groups. So Carl helped me test that really early, and so did Ben from Blitz Minis. So they were two of the really early groups that kind of submitted some results, and we saw how that would work when like multiple groups are all submitting to one thing. And then eventually I was like, well, I'll dive in, and I'd never built a website ever before in my life, but I thought, can't be that hard, right? So I started coding a website, and that was probably around in January. So over the past, 8 months or something like that, I've built A Song of Ice and Fire stats, the website, into what it is now. So every little bit of thing that does something on that website is something that I've had to code, and if it's terrible, it's probably Mickey's fault. who is the one who helps me do everything that I don't want to do on a Song of Ice and Fire stats. I'm the mean one. He's the nice one. So in general, if you want to ask something and get something done, you should probably ask Mickey. Don't ask me. That's kind of how things go for that side of things. And like I say, I had this website and some people used it, not many people used it. And so I started to build a bit of a YouTube channel and write some articles to try and promote the site. But really, it kind of took off. Actually, basically, the site stopped getting used completely because COVID came around. Nobody made any submissions anymore. And I thought I really need to get on the side of TTS and help the TTS side grow. And that's when I started organizing and running big international TTS events through the site. And that's what's really taken off. The site's really quite big on the TTS side of things. But I hope that as we get away from COVID, that the site will transition back to being used mainly for tabletop games, because that's what it was always intended for. Oh, yeah, really lovely slow loading of pictures here. In general, that's what the site does. What I do with the guild is, and the way I was kind of introduced to the guild when I first kind of had interaction with the other members, like I say, I kind of reached out to Ben and Carl early on to like help them help me test the site. But me and Nick from Mythicos kind of collaborated together on a fun project he knew that I was building websites specifically, and he had a cool idea for like a random army list builder. It never really took off. It actually kind of got rolled into the new builder that's on the site now. But working together with Nick on that project and really enjoying working with other collaborators, like on a real detailed kind of intense level, was where the guild kind of kicked off for me. And I just love collaborating with everybody else who wants to work with me and do whatever, put a happier spin on things, because I'm not the face. I'm generally the guy making really boring stats so that other people can say something interesting about it. But yeah, Generally, I just like do a lot of analysis of the game. That's roughly what I try to kind of do and bring like quite. I play a lot. That all comes from I play a lot of competitive computer games, and that's all just completely normal in competitive computer games. Like knowing exactly what's most powerful at the moment, what's winning, what's losing, who the best players are. Having really accurate ranking systems for all of those things are just things that I've stolen from computer games and I expect to exist, and they don't really exist for Song of Ice and Fire, at least. And I don't think it exists really for any competitive war games to this kind of level. So I just thought I'd give it a go. And some people are quite interested in it. Other people, they're quite skeptical, which is to be sure, like some people don't believe the stats that the site puts out, or that they think that they're not necessary, which I can definitely see a reason for. But I think that it's helpful to the community, helpful to new players, and that's really the intention, is to like allow people to learn stuff about other people, other communities, other groups, and what's good, without them having to actually have to play every single thing, because we don't all have enough time to play with every commander, play with every faction. We don't have the ability to use every unit, and it'd be nice to have some information on them before we commit to buying them, commit to playing them, and it'd help us become better players. That's what it's really all about.
That's awesome. I mean, it's really nice to have a stats guy in the guild, because I know for me, as someone that is terrible at math in general, having someone else do all the work for me and having a site that I could go, okay, what is going on with statistically in the meta? And then, we've had conversations with this in the past. Me personally, I'm a gut player, kind of. I think Brett's kind of a little bit like that too, but having that parallel is so important for wargaming. And I think being ignorant of that side of it in the statistics is something that, if you're a new war gamer, pay attention to both. Don't ignore stats.
There is no replacement for experience. Like experience and tactical gameplay in this game, like they are the bread and butter of how you win. You cannot get away from them. You cannot just pick up the most powerful list that the site says wins all the time and just expect to win with it. That's not how these things work. But if you're looking for that first stage of how you might get get better when you already play, or, you know, just what things you might never have considered yourself, then the site could give you hints of things that you might want to try, things that you might want to give a go. And what you should be aware of if you've never really played outside of your own group and you're going to a bigger tournament than before, you might be like, who will I come up against? What kind of things do other people use? Night's Watch always win in my area, but should I be worried about some different faction?
Yeah,
that's the kind of things that we can learn.
Yeah, awesome. So as we move to Small Council Radio, Dave, why don't you start with kind of the inception of Small Council Radio and what you guys do with your podcasts and stuff, and things maybe you're looking forward to down the line, and then we could talk about Brett because I know he wants to talk about himself. So,
as I was kind of mentioning before, I kind of wanted to do battle reports. You know, I'm coming from a Warhammer 40K background, huge fan of what's her name? Man, it's been so long. And I'm tired. I've been up for like 48 hours. That just came from clinicals and work. How can I not remember their name? They're from Canada.
Gorilla?
Someone help me. I'm struggling. No, they live like right next to Gorilla.
It's Canada. Nobody cares.
Man, everyone's watching, like just laughing at me, knowing the answer. Anyway, so like the biggest war gamers out there, they have like the biggest following.
They had a video of teaching you how to do it, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of it
either. Anyways, so I got the inspiration to maybe start doing battle reports from them, and but then like I said, I don't really know how to do any of it, and then there was already so many people in our in Ice and Fire that already did battle reports. So I'm like, you know what, if I'm going to be a content creator, I need to kind of offer something a little different. Granted, what we do is mostly a podcast, but the live function of it allows us to bring on people and kind of anyone who wants to call in, any person who's not a guest. So anyone watching this, if you're ever watching us live, you want to call in, you can definitely do that. We always try to make time for anyone calling in. That, and I feel like without it, the potential, if you're listening to us live, much like this is, we can't really edit it to those that are listening, right then and there. So you get our takes, at face value, our screw ups, you're catching it live. So that was kind of the idea. I wanted to provide something just a little bit different, kind of be a little unique in that sense, even though we hope to kind of branch off with battle reports in the future. But, having done this program before, I was like, I need more hosts. So my idea was to have about 5 or 6 other hosts than myself. And I started, asking around. And the plan was never to actually have like all the hosts on every week. It just so happens that, the guys are awesome and they're just on every week. I wanted like 5 or 6 people that I could count on, at least, minimum 2 of us, if not 3 of us every week. And just every single week, at most, it seems like one person can't make it, but it's usually like pretty much everyone plus the guest, which is awesome. It gives a lot of, different insights. But, I asked, of course, like some of the guys were on here, but, I was thinking, Brett has been doing a lot of like help. I've seen him helping like other content creators out with like articles and this and that. And I was like, what? This is like a first round draft pick. I could be like, what, Brett, let's, jump on my team, get you on, with my logo. And, he's like, all right, yeah. Offered, like a salary of $100,000 a year, but,
Yeah, it has to be that high to get him in there, so.
That was just the sign-on bonus. I can't we pay.
Very true.
But yeah, and it just kind of took off. I think we're closing in on 40 shows, and we haven't missed we haven't missed a week since we started back, I believe, last November. So it's, and I think the show that we just did was the first one where I didn't appear at all. And that was just because it was mine and my wife's 11th anniversary. Well, it wasn't the day of our 11th anniversary, but it was the day we're going out to do stuff for it. So that's why I wasn't on that show.
Oh, come on. There's no excuse for missing a show.
Yeah, I should have just had my mic.
Wrong answer, Chris. Shut up.
Hear us eating in the background.
Yeah, right.
At the restaurant.
My camera goes dark suddenly.
So, but yeah, that was kind of the idea behind it. And I have, I'm fortunate to have an awesome group of friends that have been, super, loyal and, there every single week between, Brett, Jose, Chris, and Justin. And, we're always, I have one other person that I would like to add to the small council. Unfortunately, he works every Tuesday. I'm going to leave it a little mystery for now, but, and I have to give credit if we haven't mentioned it on our show before, that the name actually came from Justin's idea. We're kind of spitballing ideas. A little tidbit is our name was probably going, if Justin hadn't given us that idea, it was going to be Adept or Die, which is just goes back to the Dragon Ball Z card game I played. Adept was a type of mastery you could use, almost like a style, and it was considered garbage. Like, I'm talking so garbage that hundreds of people would enter tournaments and not a single person would play it. But wow. I found a way to make it work, and I was continuously topping and top 8 at regionals with it, and people would try to replicate it and couldn't. And so I just came up with, the Adept or Die, and I played nothing but that to kind of prove that something that might look horrible, if played right, it can go far. You have to put in the time and effort to make it work. Because if no one wants to play it, then no one's going to get the experience with it to figure out how it performs. Especially the people, if you don't see it, you don't get to play against it. And if you don't play against it, you have very little experience facing it. I think that was kind of like how Free Folk, Free Folk are amazing, but when they first came out, I didn't think they were the powerhouse that they were showing, but no one was playing against them. And so they're such a different beast in this game that, you didn't know how to really fight them properly until they had been out a while.
Absolutely. And going on to Brett, why don't you give kind of your background on how you got started with all the... I think I accidentally muted you. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I think Dave basically covered a lot of it. After I won that 2019 Gen Con, I was asked by Chase to do a podcast with him. It was my first podcast. I was relatively unknown. I chatted on the Facebook page, but I think a lot of people kind of thought I was dumb because I posted these lists with like 6 activations. I was like, no, it works. They're like, no, it does not work. It's like, no, really, it works. But, once I got that break, which forever grateful to Chase for that, he kind of showed me that it was something that I really like doing. I really like talking to the community. I've always liked talking to the community. I like helping out. So my big thing was writing articles. So I became the Lannister faction writer there. And then I just kind of branched it off. And it was like, well, I really have a passion for writing these articles. I really have a passion for giving people a different take is my big thing. Like, maybe it's something you hadn't thought of, or maybe you just needed somebody to tell you that you weren't nuts. Like, yes, this could work. And that's been my thing, is always trying to put kind of a positive spin on things, and just giving people those articles to either re-emphasize what they're already thinking or give them a new way of thinking or a new way of looking at things. And I think that's pretty much my role everywhere. Is I play this like devil's advocate role, and it's what I do on Small Council too. I'm like, Pyatt Free doesn't suck, and everybody's like, yeah, he does, Brett. It's like, nah, but look at it this way. And I think I convinced a few people to try them, but I might be wrong about Payet Pre. I'm wrong about other things too, but we'll touch on that later with this FAQ coming out. I'm about to get my ass handed to me over that.
Bum bum bum. That's a little preview. Little tease.
I'm gonna own it. We'll get to that later. But no, definitely. This is a game. I played Warhammer. I was never as passionate at Warhammer as I am with this game. I'm super passionate about this game. I love it. I love everything about it. I love talking about it. So people just reach out to me, and I appear, and I just run my mouth about whatever they want me to run my mouth about, and I can just talk about this game all day. So that's how I got where I am.
True.
Just talk and talk and talk and talk and write articles. So it's great. It's awesome. I love the game. I love the design. I love the uniqueness. I love the strategy involved, and still firmly believe that this game, unlike others, comes down to how you play the game versus what list you can build. So I think Carlo touched on that a little bit. You can copy whatever list you want. Doesn't mean you're going to win with it, but it doesn't make 100% the list bad either. So that's kind of my take on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And next we got Chris. Chris, you're newer to the scene, obviously. And you said as you said before, your channel just started a couple months ago. And by the way, you've done 14 battle reports already in 2 months.
No, it's. I think it's closer to maybe 11 or 12.
That's still a lot.
Yeah. I haven't missed a week yet, so I'm trying to keep up with that pattern. Yeah, I'm definitely new. I'm new to the game, so I started playing not too long before COVID actually hit, and I was surprised with the community that we have here in Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to our local game store, Gamers Haven. And it's growing. It's still growing, which is awesome. So, I got super into the game, COVID hit, and then I had all this time on my hands. For those who don't know, I'm actually a videographer by trade. So I have the luxury of having all this cool video gear. And I decided to use that break to sort of figure out how I can start filming battle reports myself. So it was sort of twofold. I figured if people start liking the battle reports, I would be a resource for those who would also want to start shooting, because I feel like the community is very strong, and there are plenty of people out there that probably can do it. And if they're interested, they can use me as a resource to ask questions or for gear advice if they want to start something like that. And another reason why was, again, to promote our local community. I think it's important to showcase the players that you have in your area, showcase how fun the game is, and what better way to do that than to have battle reports featuring those players. This is my first tabletop war game, and I can't speak for coming from a 40K background or anything like that, but the game definitely spoke to me. I love Game of Thrones. I've read all the books. And it's definitely something that I want to focus on just exclusively battle reports for this game. And it's been fun so far. It definitely has been fun. I've helped Winston, who is Euron Greyjoy on Discord. He's got some new videos that he's been posting. Mickey Stir from Australia, he's got a YouTube channel, and he's come to me for advice. So this is just for the audience out there. If you have any questions on how to start a battle report, this is what I'm here for.
That's awesome, because I think a lot of people are, as I'm showing some of your battle report footage in the background here, I think a lot of people are very hesitant to ask for help when it comes to content creation. But I think the reality of it is a lot of people are very willing and able to give you advice. on, you know, just their experience and what they've gone through. And, you know, and never be afraid to ask anyone here, you know, if you're trying to do your own thing. I think the best part of this community and why the guild exists is to try to propagate content creators to do their own thing and to kind of promote the game. So it's awesome, and I'm glad. We're very similar because this was actually my first tabletop game as well, a couple of years ago. But for me, it was the same kind of situation where I kind of found this game. I loved the IP, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let me see where the closest place I can go to play is, and then I found Mythicos, and like just snowballed from there. So it's been great, and look where we all are now. So, and next we got Carl. So, Carl, why don't you tell us about West Coast Bannerman? Because that's newer since you've transformed from Peacekeeper Games.
Yeah. So the timing was pretty interesting. I wanted to take an entire break from the game and content. Peacekeeper shut down, and it was, I think it was 5 days after, I was like, all right, that's it. Let me get the summer off. You know,
yeah.
I got a message from the guild, and I was like, yes. Just like, I don't know why, but I have to. I love it. So I created West Coast Bannerman, which is essentially a type of way to get all of the West Coast USA players that want to do things like tutorials, videos, unboxings, which we saw on our YouTube recently, and just have it channel to feed that through, you know? So it's like a community content type of thing. It's supposed to be. So you see some podcasts where I just have them on and we chat about stuff. So that's like West Coast Bannerman. The two things that I'm personally focusing on right now are the handbook. It's the tournament organizer handbook, which is a huge project. It was originally, when I opened it back up, I had made this a year ago, and 1.5 was announced, so I stopped. I paused, and I forgot about it, honestly. And so once I started West Coast Bannerman, I started looking through my Google Drive stuff, and I was like, oh, I forgot about this big old thing. And this was right in time for the tournament guild drop. So you'll see the handbook in the guild drop section if you're cruising the page there. And I opened it back up, and it was 97 pages long. And I was like, well, I don't think I can get this whole thing out in time for the drop. So I took out the huge list of every single like order and tactics card in the game. I took that out to update that later. And I took out the rule book itself, which has like, which what we're calling now is guild tips or guild clarifications. So like we're just expanding the rule book, not that it needs to be, but instead of reading the rule book and then jumping somewhere else, it'll just put things right into the rule book with it, basically. So a bigger rule book is coming as well. Right now you see the basic steps to get going as a TO, some helpful advice, how to get started with the Song of Ice and Fire stats.com, the basic explanation of like how triggers work step by step, you know, things like that. So it's supposed to be a great tool that you can print out, put in a binder, have on the desk for tournaments, or just reference online if you like. Lots of things I've learned over the years working with Simon, doing my own local events. So that's a really awesome project that Nick and Chris and Carlo have helped me with. It looks beautiful. I didn't do any of that. I just did the text.
Amazing.
Like, it looks really nice, and I didn't
Yeah.
do a single thing with that. So it's really nice to have the support. This is this is a shining example of like the guild, right? Like I could not do this without the guild. This is how the group comes together and makes something even better. Part two is the Fantasy League. George, 3 Sales Gaming, has the Team Super League going on. And I had a 5th West Coast Bannerman wanting to play. So I stepped out and was like, you know what? I'll do content. I'll just do content. And I'll kind of be like their coach in the shadows, if you will. Like, hey, watch out for this guy's, you know, Tyrion mastermind Brett Lamper over here, you know, just from the shadows. So instead I'm doing content, and me and George kind of talked about how it's like really sports league kind of themed, this league. I was like, you know what would be cool is a fantasy league. So that, as I explained earlier, is what I'm doing right now. Their preference of who to pick is due in 6 hours. And then I will do the draft in my own time, because it's just impossible to do like a live fantasy draft from people all over the world. So I will do the whole selection process, and then we'll have the fantasy teams. We're going to go live Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and show everybody like who got picked first all the way through. That's going to be really fun. And we already have some like awesome banter going on in the fantasy chat. So those are my personal two projects. I know Diego, who is right now my like number 2. He started doing some content with the unboxing. He's working on some painting tutorials. So he's really loving those Lore Unfaithful. And I think he's doing Stormcrows as well. And so he's really new to the whole subject, content and stuff. So I'm trying to get him going, but he's enjoying it. And that's the idea is, share with the community what you're doing. And I'm just giving them a channel to do so. So that's West Coast Bannerman.
Awesome. And again, last but not least, Ilya from Tabletop Wardens. It's really cool to have you on, you and Yannick on board, Ilya, because you guys are German content creators. And part of the guild down the road, I know we all want to kind of expand that into other regions, so it's awesome having you guys being part of the original crew because you really provide a way for us to go from both worlds, in English and German and stuff like that. So why don't you talk about a little bit like that, how you guys got into it and how you started the channel?
Sure. So to start off, I had never played a tabletop war game before. I think I played one Warhammer 40K when I was like 14, I guess, but dropped it very fast because, let's be honest, it's not a very cheap hobby. It's very expensive, couldn't afford it. And so I was like getting into video games a lot. I'm a hardcore video game player. I'm actually studying video games programming right now as well. So I'm very dedicated in that regard. But for some reason, I really fell in love with A Song of Ice and Fire the moment I saw the Kickstarter. I think for me personally, I really want to get into game design, and I loved every aspect about this game. For me, the selling point was I don't have to assemble miniatures. I don't have to paint them. I just have to buy the box, and I'm basically ready to go. And that's just awesome. I just loved it. I backed it immediately, and I think the game released in like 2018, something like that. I'm not sure anymore, but yeah. And after I received my package, I was like hyped to a tremendous amount, and I was looking for more players around my area. And then I found Yannick, and he was living like, I don't know, maybe 20 kilometers away from me in Koblenz, which is let's say a larger city in Germany. And then we sat together, played a couple of rounds, and we enjoyed it so much that we were like, you know what? No one is making content for this game right now in German. So why don't we do that? Like, it's a great opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity for the game to promote it so that more players will join us. And then we started to make our first battle report. We started to make podcasts because we love to talk about this game. And I think Mickey can sing a song about it because after the last expo, we talked about like almost 4 hours about those slides. And we're enjoying it, just basically philosophizing around the designs of the units and speculating a lot. And I don't even know how we got into the guild. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's such a long time ago for me personally. I wasn't involved so much in the guild because of private stuff. Just my studies were, taking a lot of time. But right now we are trying to collaborate with a lot of people from the guild. Like our first collaboration was with Ben from Blitz Minis. And that video, for example, was our most watched video ever. Like we realized in this moment that if we do more content in English, more people will see the game, even German players, and this will help the game to grow. We will try to promote it in every regard. Hence the reason why we joined the guild and trying to do podcasts now in English, which is sometimes very difficult, as you can tell, because I'm really struggling to find sometimes the right words, but we're giving our best. And I'm already calling dibs on every content related to Greyjoys because I've been waiting for that faction since Kickstarter. I just can't wait for that. After seeing those miniatures and those cards, I was like, yes, this is gonna be my faction.
No, I know a lot of people are excited about Greyjoys. I think for all intents and purposes, this may be the most, and obviously this is just my opinion, but they may be the most competitive out of the box that we've seen in a while. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, but I think it's awesome because you guys are obviously bilingual, and you guys are really harsh on yourself with your English sometimes. Like you guys speak perfectly fine English. I don't know why you're always like, I can't find the right word. You guys are great.
I can't tell.
No,
I
you're
suppose.
fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
But it's awesome because I think I speak for everyone when I say that this whole idea of the guild is very unique in that we're trying to pull people from all over the content creation world to provide unique things to a conglomerate that kind of grows the game. And I think everyone here does an amazing job at what they do with that. So I think what we're going to do next, because we kind of had a little bit of a content bomb dropped upon our heads as we went live, guys, 1.6 FAQ just dropped. Okay.
I'm ready. I got notes.
The Scorpion thing is in. Finally, the Scorpion thing is in. Mighty Enhancement is finally, oh my God, after so many months and years.
Well, I actually have notes and a way to reveal them in order if you guys want me to just go through it.
Yeah, no, if you have it all written down, I can just kind of try to follow along on the website here if you want to go piece by piece.
All right, so we're going to hop on to songoficeandfire.cmon.com/docs. We're going to hit the FAQ/errata button. I'm going to start off down towards the bottom with the general rulebook FAQ. It's not quite exactly in any kind of order, but I'm going to start with that one because it covers a couple things that are also in other factions. So where's my list? First up, general FAQ. The targeting has been clarified.
Oh,
so there we go.
This covers lots of things already that you know about. Targeting, clarified. Check it out. Awesome. I'm not going to go into detail. Next up, let's see. Stakes, right? Taking D3 +1 wounds once after the movement is done, which is exactly what I love. That's what I wanted. So, love it. Before the attack. Before the attack.
Yes, right. This is how it should have been.
Yes.
This is how it should have been.
I knew. The Fire and Blood and Bears are also covered in the general with talking about the game mode FAQ. So,
okay, yeah, right down.
You do get the +1 VP for the coins. I think it's generally explained saying if there's something that's game mode related, the not giving victory points doesn't affect that. So all right, so I'm going to move to Targaryens next, then we'll come to Baratheons. So we'll back out to the page, go to Targaryens. We have the Unsullied Officer getting a huge boost, in my opinion, with being able to trigger it while all combat units are already activated, and also being able to trigger it anytime during the round, even if you're all done. So this specific FAQ also has effects for other effects such as tactic cards and orders that have beginning of turn. Okay, you have a turn that you must pass as long as the round is continuing going on. You have to pass it, goes back to the opponent. So this is a huge clarification. Looking forward to how that affects other things. I'm gonna dig in and investigate shortly. Next up, we have Sell Me NCU. And that's related to the targeting. So you can check out Sell Me over there. And then we have attack abilities explained with martial superiority. This also, of course, affects Roderick Cassell and his card. It defines attack abilities as specifically mentioning attack or the sword bow icon. All right. Moving on to Baratheons. My quick summary in my notes here is everything officially is now the same as the community thought. So nothing really surprising. Everything that we've discussed in the community in the Discords, I think it's exactly the same. So that's all I'm going to say with Baratheons. It's official. What all the TOs and everybody else have already said. So moving on to the Starks, we have that Roderick Cassell card, of course. The attack ability is defined. And then we also have the Bowman, specifying finally from the forums a long time ago, it was mentioned that it would eventually be put in. It is now put in that they ignore cover and other terrain keywords. And then we have a clarification on superior positioning from Rob's card, which is nice. It's specifically mentioned right after the pivot, before the movement is when this takes place. So it talks about it there. I'm going to move on and do a double neutral / Lannister. We don't even have to check out because it's just cut them down has been revised. It does not stack. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh.
That's huge. That's actually very huge.
Yes, that's a huge one as well. I'm sure some lists were built around that. I was actually messing with that myself. So this also could hint maybe at some more cut them downs being added to units in the future, perhaps.
Yeah.
All right. And then next up we have the Night's Watch. We have a big bummer to any Night's Watch player in the TSO League. The Hunters shoot after the pivot.
Ouch.
So that's a big something that no one thought I think would be clarified as such because of how it's worded in the rulebook.
That's actually brutal.
Yeah, that's a brutal one.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make a note. There might be more, but that's the one that stood out to me was the Hunters. And then lastly, on my notes, I have Free Folk, all about Harma. Harma.
All Harma.
Yeah, so the commander version is explained, and it's also as the community TOs thought, which is you can play Fainting Maneuver and then get it back, but you cannot get it back and then play it. All right?
Yeah.
And also the Fainting Maneuver is additionally explained, saying things like, what is it? Stand your ground. No. Halberdiers.
Set for charge.
Thank you. Set for charge would not trigger because the charge is completely treated as a flank charge.
No.
So
okay, wow.
That's the whole list in 30 seconds. Bam.
So now that we've gone through it, does anyone want to react to anything specifically? Because there are some pretty significant FAQs here.
I'm not playing Night's Watch anymore in the 3 Sales League. And you can't
It's
stop
too
me
late.
because I control the site.
Hey, Carl, can you go a little bit more into Selmy's clarifications? I know that that's been like an ongoing thing within Discord. Is people really don't know how to trigger his effect. So what are some things that you saw in there?
I'm just going to read it in 10 seconds here. So any ability or effect that specifically has a player selecting a unit from among multiple options or choosing when to trigger the effect. Examples are numerous tactic cards and orders that require a unit to trigger. Also, examples of items Barristan cannot prevent are effects that do not actively select a target or are merely byproducts of an action, such as Sundering, Vicious, Loyalty Through Coin, which that's the Wealth Zone one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one I think helps with the Sundering Vicious specifically. People were thinking that targets.
Yeah.
People thought that they could maybe turn off anything. It was like they thought that anything that sort of was stated could be a target. So it just
this also
these things are not included, and that's absolutely good.
I think this reflects the general style of the trigger wordings in general, which is, think about what is happening in the game, and that's like not every single trigger is worded the same, or not every single targeting is worded the same. But is it doing this? Is it targeting? Right. So it's kind of the same style, in my opinion, as like how they treat triggers and things like that. Is this happening? Okay. So don't try to dig in any further. Like if you ask yourself, it could be, nope, it's not happening. Is it happening? Okay. So it is nice to have. I'm sure there will be more questions. I don't think it's complete, but it's awesome to have, especially that Sundering Vicious stuff. So, but with the choosing to select a unit and choosing to have a unit in the listed in the trigger, those clarify a lot too. And I haven't had the time. Obviously, this just came right now to look through all the people questioning things yet. But this is awesome, in my opinion, to have, especially right before the TSL. So
Yeah.
so it's good.
And then, real quick, Carl, there's people in the chat that are saying the Unsullied Officer is good now, or he got a buff.
Oh yeah. Both of these things, no one thought they could do.
What does that say?
Both of these.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to say no one, because I'm sure somebody was like, "Hey, man, I totally thought he could do that like this whole time." So it makes sense, number one. But as I said, like, this has a ripple effect to other start of turn effects, cards, other things. So this is going to be nice to investigate. I want to say Neutral's base deck has multiple start of turn cards that now you can play at the start of your turn, even if you don't have anything left. All right, so stuff like that is going to happen. But yeah, the Unsullied Officer, totally worth 3 points. Absolutely, 100%. For sure.
Bob Armour says he called it.
Yeah, and it's like now you can put your guy in position
ahead of the game,
with an officer. You can take a charge, completely being out of activations, and then trigger the Unsullied Officer later. Right. So or maybe somebody gets into position of your range later on in the round, and then you can trigger the officer. This is a huge boost. Yeah. Really, really happy to see it.
I feel like it's only his only use before was kind of in a ranged unit to try and delay time, because it seemed like all you could do was take a shot early in the round to like delay an activation. But now it's not just an activation, it's an activation on demand, which is better than an activation. It used to be seen as an activation which had like quite strict requirements around it, and now it's actually an activation that you can do whenever you want outside of the normal kind of turn structure, which is even better than a normal activation. So definitely worth the 3.
Yeah,
really.
It adds in like a layer of zone control, all on his lonesome. You know?
And just a certain level of defense that the Targaryens just don't have at the moment. Like they don't have a way to react. Yeah. They're so overtly aggressive. They've just not got anything reactionary in their deck, really. And now they do. That's a really good change. I didn't see it coming, but I'm happy for Targaryens. It might help them a little bit.
Yeah, with 5 hours left for the fantasy player selections to be no more changing, I might see a lot of changes to people's priorities. With
nobody's going to pick me in my Night's Watch
up, and maybe the Night's Watch down. I don't know.
I was all in on those stakes. What's going on here?
Oh man!
Here come the flying giants.
Man. No. But really nice. I like it. I can't wait to get targets back on the table.
FAQ. Like it's been a while. It's been a while coming. You know, there don't need to be any balance changes. There just needed to be a few things just kind of like cleaned up that the bigger tournaments that recently have kind of thrown up. So I think that's really good for the community. And Bob, I am running triple senior builder.
That's not gonna work, Carlo. You know it. It's not gonna work.
What's the catchphrase when you trigger them? Like, "Si, senor," and then you do your spikes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
But so I mean, unless anyone else wants to go through any of the other fact stuff, I think we've kind of pretty much gone through it all. I think just personally looking at the stuff, a lot of it is just really good clarifications, especially with a lot of the ability stuff. I know it constantly comes up in the Facebook. What abilities get turned off by this? What abilities get turned off by that? What is targeting? What is it? So I'm glad that all got clarified. And looking at it, it's just a overall really good FAQ. Good timing too.
Yep.
So
love it.
We're hitting about the hour mark, so I think that was kind of where we wanted to wrap up. I just want to thank everybody for coming on and kind of talking about what you did. We got a little extra boost of content there with the FAQ drop during the broadcast, so that was pretty nice.
I like to think Simon probably did that on purpose.
Thank you. Michael somewhere like They handled it well. Next time.
I think he just wanted to take down Carlo's list a notch. That's what it was.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure Simon keeps tabs on me personally, exactly what lists I'm playing, and then they just kill them.
All right, you guys rock on. I'm out of here.
All right, Carl. Carl, do you want to just promote yourself before you sign off?
Sure. I pretty much have everything I do on the guild, so we can promote the guild.
There you go.
But stay tuned with there's Brett. Hey,
Yeah, Brett's back right for the ending. There you go.
There he goes. Stay tuned from 3 Sales Gaming and West Coast Bannerman for Fantasy League fun. This is very much fun. No one should take anything personal. I have some preferences are just like, I know this guy, so he's my first pick. This guy's my brother, so he's my second pick. You know, like it's not, it's just gonna be tons of fun. We go live Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern time for the fantasy draft pick. It'll be tons of fun. And look forward to updates in the handbook, TO handbook on the guild site.
Yes.
And hopefully some more West Coast Bannermen can plug in some more of their own stuff. So yeah, man, just keep plugging away.
Heck yeah. Thanks for coming on. And Carlo, why don't you sign off yourself there?
Yeah, if you wanna help me out, then just head over to A Song of Ice and Fire Stats and submit your results. That's all I ever ask of people.
Yeah.
I write some articles sometime. It's nice if you read them. I have a YouTube channel which if you like me taking the piss out of myself and Mickey and everybody else, then that could be your kind of thing. But really all I'm trying to do is make people aware of the kind of stuff that I do on Song of Ice and Fire Stats. So use that. Use the guild, use everything, because everybody puts a lot of work into it, and I'm just really glad to be here and working with all these guys. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.
And Dave, we'll bring Brett back in so he could say his final piece, if he can. If you can,
we're required to give him a 30-minute break every day, so that's probably what that was.
Yeah. There we go. I don't know. I think he might be out of service. But Dave, why don't you sign yourself off and go ahead and promote your stuff.
So anyone that isn't familiar with us, for Small Council Radio, we do our show live every Tuesday. So tonight we will be live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We go for about an hour and a half is roughly what it ends up being. Tonight's show will be about neutrals and how to fit them into other factions. So
I love that.
Kind of throw what units into what other factions, because we've gone over neutrals as their own show, like as a faction. That tonight will be where to properly put certain units with certain, like where they mesh well. And tonight we have a special guest, which will actually be Sunday Slaughter.
Let's go.
Kind of go over neutrals with us and how they fit into other factions. Awesome. You can find us on. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Blog Talk Radio, which is the site we do it through, and of course, A Song of Ice and Fire Guild. You can find our content recorded on any of those. If you want to catch us live, go to Blog Talk Radio or pretty much any of the Ice and Fire Facebook groups. So I'll post a link there. Call in if you want to give us your 2 cents on the matter, or even just ask any of the hosts any questions about anything, and we'll try to make time to fit you in.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dave. And Ilya, why don't you sign off for Tabletop Wardens?
Yeah, sure. So as I said before, we are a German channel, but still, please, guys, visit our channel, because we are actually making English content right now. And Yannick talked about it a little bit, and we will try to provide more battle reports in English and more podcasts in English. So keep your eyes peeled, because I think the next battle report is around the corner. We actually recorded one. It was a very dramatic game, Free Folk against Hungarians. It was very exciting. And it's an honor to be with you guys and be part of this guild. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And Chris, why don't you sign yourself off, friend? with those
All right.
biceps.
Yeah, I'll make this quick. Yeah, check out my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Sunday Slaughter. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely consider doing that. It lets me know you guys are enjoying the content, but not only subscribe to mine, but other content creators as well. So Ilya with Tabletop Wardens, there's some really good new ones out there too. I know that there's one out of Indonesia. I think Van on Discord has a new one. You're on Greyjoy, who's out of Panama, I believe, started making videos too. So if you guys find those channels, definitely leave a comment and subscribe to them. It helps the community out a lot. So definitely 100%. Do that.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you guys. I'm going to sign off for everybody now. I appreciate everyone sticking here and talking a little bit about the guild, and kind of as we learn more members of the guild are going to come on. This is the first episode, but we're looking forward to doing more as we add new members, as we get other people on here, and hopefully do more of these things in the future, to kind of be transparent about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and just get to know the content creators. So from Mythicos Studios and everyone involved in the Song of Ice and Fire Guild, I just want to thank y'all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.